If AI has felt a little overwhelming, I invited a group of women over 55 to try it together in a relaxed setting. And what happened was honestly so much fun. But stay with me now, because by the end of this video, you're going to want to call all your besties, I promise. If you've been curious about AI but didn't know where to start, you're exactly in the right place. And I realized that I could guide women in our age range that wanted to understand AI in their everyday lives. And you'll see on the channel, there's been a few videos out there to get you started. And I thought, what if we just invite the neighborhood? Women interested that are over 55 will gather, and I'll guide them through how to use AI in their everyday lives. And so we did it. It wasn't a class, it was a gathering. We all sat down in comfortable couches and chairs, and we had a great time with just having coffee and a selection of donuts. And it was really about just bringing women together.
Look at this itinerary for the Amalfi Coast. It includes a cooking class.
Oh, that looks wonderful. We should definitely consider staying an extra night there.
And I thought this was just more engaging. And I think they really had a good time. I got a lot of good comments after we gathered that day. So I was pretty excited about that. And they all showed up. They're smart, curious women. They came in, they were comfortable. And I had my moderator there, Tina, who does a really nice job, has been very pleasant to work with. I've worked with her for a long time. And of course, my mom was representing the neighborhood. I think she understands the movement, to tell you the honest truth, and how we as women can learn at this age and continue to broaden our horizons. But it was really more to go ahead and talk about the first thing, which was the 5 questions that women our age actually ask. And I do have a video prior to this one, which we walked through them. And those are really about safety. What I would say about the situation with security, and what I found out from just listening to the news and listening to other people, the solutions themselves, is that relatively we have the internet today, and it's really very similar in that you're in the same situation, right? You don't want to provide any personal information to these chatbots. One of the examples, I should say, that I have used is I will put my medical information in there if I get a test result, but I mark out all of the information that's personal, and then I will ask it the questions I want to ask. So it's more of a matter of just being really conservative with everything in terms of your personal information. And it is used for some really good medical things and that kind of thing. But you have to remember, you just never want to put in your Medicare number, your Social Security number, your full name or address, and anything private personal information. All right? Is it too technical? Is it going to be robotic? Those general questions that many people ask, not just women, but it is definitely where I'm focusing in on. So what I know about being tech savvy, I know a couple of you have maybe mentioned that maybe your fingers aren't working that particular day. And I know mine get a little weak in the morning sometimes. So I would say that right now it's not critical to have the ability to type. I know you guys use your pencils and those types of things, so that can also be used when you're putting information into the chatbot. One of the best things that they came out with, which has been really good, is the ability to talk into the chatbot by microphone. And all you do is hit the microphone, and if it's not already in your settings, you will have to accept it that they can use it. And it's perfect, honestly. It takes all of your information. And then I would say the biggest tip I have is that some of the solutions will take your information, it will transcribe it, And then sometimes it automatically sends it up for the chat to be completed. So you just have to watch that, because you could be sitting there if you haven't noticed that the chat actually has moved and is being worked on. So it's either you speak into the system and you just wait a few seconds, like stopping, see if it moves itself, and then if not, you go ahead and hit the button to release it. So just other than that, really, there isn't a lot to being tech savvy. I'll guide you through this process and make some fun out of it and make it fun. Let's just make a movement out of this, and let's see where we can go. And I was excited as we progress here, and I'll tell you all about it. It was pretty fun. From the perspective of the room and the energy, I think it was great. It was nice that it was more informal. We just walked through things, we talked about things, and it was just comfortable. And I think that's why, actually, I got a lot of nice feedback. And I think that's why, because there was no push to get anything done. But I think that their interest perked up for sure as we did a few fun things. So let's get right to it. We went through the first 5 questions, and I think it's a good idea to do that, because I had one woman actually come up to me after and basically say, this was really great. I feel like it's a lot safer than I thought, and I'm ready to move forward and have a little bit of fun with it. I was pleased about that, honestly, because it shouldn't be that scary. So after the questions were finished, the excitement began. So I asked if they had gone ahead and used the AI Confidence Concierge. I have an AI assistant, which is called AI Confidence Concierge, and I built it as a custom assistant inside of ChatGPT. And what it actually is, essentially more along the lines of our voice. So we're a little bit older, a little bit slower moving. We'll talk about that in a second. And sometimes it can be a little blunt when you're talking to ChatGPT, and I really didn't want that. I wanted something that was relatable, friendly, and being able to take care of some of the items that we normally will be looking into. It also has 4 conversations at the very top, and you'll see those as you review the custom assistant. The reason I did that is because of what I like to call the blank stare, is when you're looking at ChatGPT and it doesn't have any guidance for you, then essentially these conversations are providing you some guidance. Click on these buttons, click on these conversations, and it will get you started. And that was what the whole idea behind the AI Confidence Concierge Custom Assistant was about. And the 4 different conversations that it presents to you is travel, meal planning, organization, and maybe a craft or some kind of event type of thing that you wanted to do, maybe with grandchildren or family. So I have built it for people that are specifically beginners in AI. And relatively, for example, if you wanted to send an email to a friend who might happen to be in the hospital, all of a sudden you could ask Chat to, can you please write something nice for me for my friend? She's in the hospital. And what it will actually do is come back with just a very short discussion for you. Just you can either write down or maybe you're texting it. And it's just really nice. You do have to download it into ChatGPT. And I actually had about 3 people that said they had. And I thought, oh, great, that's fantastic. You do not have to do that initially, all right? To be clear, you can wait until we have the gatherings. But a couple of them had, so we went through the process of, what did you do? A hand went up. It stopped me in my tracks because to tell you the truth, I was so excited. And essentially, the woman had mentioned that she loved the packing list, and that if she hadn't gotten the packing list, that she would have missed so much of what she needed to pack. And I thought, wow, that's so interesting, because I have actually heard where a lot of people like the packing list, and it is a big feature. The chats do a really good job of outlining everything that you need. Specifically, if you need someplace to go where it's cold or hot or summer or fall. So in the description below, I do have links to a US-based packing list and a international-based packing list. I hope you enjoy them. And I was pleased that she had moved forward, actually. I didn't really expect everybody to do that, but I thought that would be something fun that we could talk about, and that people would become a little bit more engaged when they realized that, oh, she actually did something. But she did do the itinerary, so that was good, and she got some good information into that. The point here is that she found something in her real life that she could actually use it for. And she came back to tell us about it. And I think she was actually excited about that. I think she was the first one that came out and said, yes, she's used it. So I thought that was really great. And that's not really a small thing. That's what getting started looks like. People actually diving in and typing away, or as I've mentioned before, you can use your voice and use the microphone in the chatbot. So just remember that. I personally wanted to concentrate on travel for this particular gathering because there's a lot of people that are interested in travel at this age. I said, is there anybody that's going to have a summer vacation or spring vacation that we could discuss? And so one woman came forward and she said she was going to Quebec. I said, great, let's go on to the custom concierge, your assistant, and let's see what they say. We went through the whole process. Now, what was interesting is Tina, my moderator, asked her to come up. She said, do you want to come up and do it yourself? And she did. So that was another step forward, right? Somebody actually getting up, taking care of it, do it yourself, showing others. And it was pretty fun. We went through the iteration with the chat. She had already an itinerary, actually. I'm pretty sure it's probably by a travel agent. But she realized that what the chat was giving her was similar to what she had. So she had a hotel, she had some sightseeing, she had restaurants, and she was actually staying at one of the hotels that it recommended, which was cool. And remember that on the travel side of the business, you can ask for low, moderate, and high rates and that type of thing. They usually come back and iterate with you. I think the main thought process is that she wasn't just watching, she was doing, and that's where I want to guide people. If you can do this just daily, it becomes essentially the habit, right? You may not need it daily, but honestly, sometimes you do. There was one more ask of us, and it was a woman who needed to do a comparison of her insurance, and she wanted to look and see what different brands were out there, different companies, and then what she needed out of it. So I basically took that one, and Tina, she ended up plugging it into the chat, and we ended up with a great document, essentially all of the insurance companies with high ratings in the area, the zip codes, and then providing her with questions based on what she needed for her insurance. And I think they enjoyed the overall experience. That's what's important here. I come from a customer service background, and so experiences matter to me. And I feel like it wasn't a class, it wasn't a tech rundown, it was just talking through the process. The important part is that you build relationships and you build a foundation of what is AI and how you can use it in your everyday life. And I asked them, did you enjoy it and did you learn something? And they all said vehemently yes, which I was very excited about. If this feels like something you'd enjoy, I've created something called Sip, Click, and Glow Up. It's a small, relaxed gathering where I guide you step by step through using AI for everyday life. You can host one with your friends or your best besties, or join in yourself. And I put the link below. I'd love to guide you. And if you're not quite ready yet, just subscribe and learn with me here.